Welcome to another episode of Good Cooking. And with the holidays right around the corner, I wanted to make you a childhood favorite of mine that I had every Christmas. It's Nan's Baked Ziti. Before we start, the reason why I love making this dish because it reminds me of one of my favorite episodes on The Sopranos when AJ is in the backyard and his grandmother calls. She can't make the evening and he tells his father, so what, no ziti now? But now we got ziti.
So what, no f***ing ziti now? Hey!
You ready, Benny?
Let's do it.
How many times you have ziti growing up around the holidays?
Not a damn time.
Your family's horrific. So here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna wanna preheat your oven to 400 degrees. Then you take your ricotta cheese, which you're gonna drain of all the water before you put it in your sauce. You're gonna put it in the sauce, you're gonna break it up a little bit. Leave a little extra chunk there because we're gonna throw it into the ziti. Now when you cook your ziti, you're gonna wanna make it very al dente, so do it a little bit under what the recommended time is. So if it's 10 minutes, do it around 8 minutes because it's gonna continue to cook in the oven for about a half hour. You don't want these things to be, soft like people who live in California. By the way, I love you never had ziti.
No.
You're a terrible person, man. All right, well, this was a big deal for me around the holidays, My grandmother would make it, Nan, my dad's mom, and she was an incredible cook. It was just, it meant the holidays. It was fantastic. And then she had a sister who lived upstairs. Her name was Frances, and they called her Zizi. And really what they were doing was calling her Zia for aunt, but us kids, me and my cousin, that is, the ZZ wasn't working for us, so we called it Titsy. So, good old Tits. And the thing I loved about Tits was she, forever, for the 12 years that I knew her before she passed on to the other side, she wore this house dress that matched my grandmother's couch. So I don't know if the upholsterer made the couch and it was like a little extra fabric left over and Tits took it. But in any event, we used to play in the basement of a two-family house. She lived upstairs and she used to do the laundry in the basement, and she had a phone that connected to her apartment upstairs so that when she was doing the laundry, she could answer the phone. However, when my cousin and I, Jeff, who's a year older than me, found that out, we used to just listen in on all her phone calls. They weren't that interesting. She was just talking about old lady stuff. But, nonetheless, we were like, hey, right, Tits. Anyway, so what we're going to do here, Ben, we're going to take just a nice little ladle of this, right? And we're going to just put it in there. Then what I'm also going to do is take just a nice ladle of this. If you recall, like how we do our lasagna. I'm going to coat the bottom here. Then I got a little fresh mozzarella. You're going to want to cube this up like so. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to throw this in here. Just going to throw it all in there. Why not? Right, Ben?
Who's stopping you?
I feel bad for you. You're lactose intolerant. Are you?
Sure, we all are.
I thought you were. I thought you couldn't have cheese.
We all are, but...
But I feel like in this show, you've bypassed it. It's done.
This one, I'm...
No more. It doesn't matter. All right, so let's just give this a nice little stir. We'll get this all incorporated. Oh my God, it smells fantastic already. You ready, Benny? I gotta pour this into there. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a little bit to start. Let's spread this out.
So this is your grandma's recipe, right?
This is how Nan used to make it. Very simple, very basic, not a lot of different ingredients. I actually think that's a very important thing when you make a lot of these dishes. It's just good quality ingredients. You don't need to add a lot of stuff to this. Just really good ingredients will make an incredible dish. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a little lucatelli. And what I'm gonna do is another little layer of sauce here. And that's just gonna come together so nice once it bakes. Then what I'm gonna do, I got a little shredded mozzarella here. I'll take that and do a little layer of that on top. Now we're gonna do the rest of our pasta here, Benny. All right. A little sip of wine for the chef. Just gonna spread this out. Another little coating of sauce. Not too much. A little more locatelli. And then we're gonna go one more layer here of the shredded mozzarella.
And this recipe went from your grandma's pretty standard, you think?
Yeah, I mean, there's other things that you could put in it. Some people put basil, some people even put meat in it. I personally don't like it with the meat. I like it just like this. I make the lasagna with the meat, but I like this, just the pasta with the cheeses and the sauce. Fantastic. So now we're gonna put this in the oven, 400 degrees, half hour. Let it be, come out, spoon it onto a plate. I'm gonna hit it with a little bit more sauce. Good to go. This dish is remarkable with the cheese, the sauce, the ziti, and then afterwards with a full belly, and you put on those feety pajamas with the zipper that I once caught my in. You know, this dish brings back a lot of wonderful memories of my childhood. I always remember walking into my nan's house. We spent a lot of Christmas Eves there, and you'd walk in and there would just be this amazing spread, and baked ziti was a staple. It was so delicious and so heartwarming, and it's such an easy dish to make. And it's not that expensive. You can throw it together relatively quickly. You throw it in the oven. It's absolutely fantastic. And you get to be around people you love, and you have a lot of laughs, and it's something that you should probably make a tradition. I think I'm gonna make it a tradition, although I haven't had it in about 15 years. And if you want the recipe, as always, it's in the description below. And from our house to yours, happy holidays and bon appetit. Ben, no laughing. My ding ding got caught in the zip zip. My mom told me to wear underwear, but I like the free ball and those red and blue sons of